Great. Hey, what's up guys? My name is Anand and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to get started with generative engine optimization, also known as AI engine optimization or ASEO, right? So there's a lot of terms and terminologies that are thrown around. Basically, it's the next iteration of SEO, and the goal here is to make sure that how can you make sure your website is ranking on AI search engines like Google, Perplexity, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, so on and so forth, right? So that's basically the main essence of this video. And I really wanted to cover like some of the important tactics that will help you to achieve that goal of AI SEO or GEO, generative engine optimization. So let's get straight into things and focus on some of the key aspects. All right, so we are going to cover like introduction to GEO, why it matters, core principles, some strategies, action plan, research and insights, which I think is pretty valuable because we're going to talk a lot about citations, which is going to play an important role in terms of how these AI search engines are citing and what's the recipe behind those citations, because that's where the key aspect is, right? If your site cannot be cited through these search engine AI tools, then effectively, it's going to be very difficult for you to rank in AI mode or in any of the generative engines. All right. So what exactly is GEO? It's basically the practice of optimizing your website or content so that it surfaces in AI generated answers. And these can be platforms like I said, Google, Gemini, Perplexity, Claude, and much more, right? That's coming out every day. But I would say those are the big five, right? While traditional SEO is focusing on ranking on search engine results pages, which is your typical Google and Bing, but GEO is focused more on how can you rank through large language models so that they can understand and generate answers favoring your context, your content, semantic depth, and quality over keyword stuffing. Now, in terms of the key differences, as you can see, traditional SEO is focused on keyword based, but then GEO is based on intent and context driven. Now think about this. Because it's large language model, the query can have multiple meanings and intent. So it also will probably take into consideration the users like previous conversation and what are they intending to buy, right? So it's very interesting, and really you got to focus on more in terms of the context and intent rather than keyword. Now, again, traditional SEO is focused on backlinks and domain authority. GEO is focused on authority via citations and co-mentions. As I mentioned earlier, citation is going to be extremely important. Traditional SEO focuses on ranking in the SERP, but while GEO focused on ranking in AI generated answers. Obviously, SEO is only focused on the big players such as Google and Bing, but GEO, the impact can be in multiple locations from search, chat, and social. So GEO builds on top of your solid SEO foundation, which is technical health, quality content, and authority. So one thing is very clear. GEO is not a replacement of SEO, right? SEO is your basics, your foundation, and then GEO builds on top of it, right? So always remember that this does not mean that SEO is dead, as many people talk about in LinkedIn and social media posts that, hey, SEO is dead, AI is here. It's not the case. Anything AI is built on top of quality data, garbage in, garbage out, right? So if your website is performing well in traditional SEO, it's going to perform in GEO. All right. Why generative engine optimization matters? Obviously, it's going to help improve discovery. There is a term that's coined called as the Great Depression, or it's called as crocodile mouth. Basically, what's happening is websites impression is going up, but their organic traffic is going down. Why? Because these search engines are basically eating up organic clicks. So with GEO, your discoverability will increase, and also AI adoption is exploding, right? That's again an important aspect of why it matters. People are using Perplexity, Gemini, Claude, ChatGPT more and more. They are getting answers immediately. With AI mode in Google, think about it. All the answers will be available immediately. It's going to enhance your engagement. Precise answers aligned with user intent will drive longer sessions and better conversion rate because users are going to find exactly what they're looking for. Think about a complex query like, you know, blue shoes, size 8, men's for arthritis. That's a freaking long search term compared to shoes for men. If your focus is on ranking for that product, which is shoes, blue shoes, you are going to be focusing on multiple variations in traditional SEO. But with GEO, if your site is already ranking in SEO and it has these terms along with the intent, with clear descriptions about, hey, the shoes is also going to be helpful with arthritis or running, something like that, it's going to know what page it needs to surface from Shopify, right? So that's why precise answers is going to be super critical. Obviously, this is going to future-proof your visibility. AI platforms is going to proliferate across devices and interface, and GEO keeps your brand relevant in an increasingly AI, information landscape. And finally, it's going to help with credibility. If your website is cited multiple times in most of these search engines or AI search engines, it's naturally going to increase your credibility. So as you can see, the core principles of GEO is based on traditional SEO, and one of them is EEAT, expertise, authoritativeness, trustworthiness. But there are a few other things such as understanding the intent, anticipate your user's question, provide direct conversational answers immediately without beating around the bush, right? It needs to be highly readable. Focus on clear formatting, descriptions, headings, and semantic structure that makes easier for both humans and AI to understand. And then finally, rich signals include citations, quotations, and statistics to boost visibility and establish credibility with AI systems. A lot of these citations are happening because the AI engines thinks that that particular website is authoritative and it has much richer and modern and updated statistics and quotations. So think about how you can add in your website. I'm going to quickly run through these GEO strategies. Use new tools, like for example in WordPress you can now use AI SEO tool, implement a schema markup, author bios and topic clusters, and provide structured data that AI can easily understand, right? Focus on that, right? Smart keyword research. Shift from exact matches to semantic long tail and intent driven queries. The example that I gave you about blue shoes size 8 for men's with pain in the knee or arthritis problem, that's a pretty long multiple intent based keyword, right? Clean structure. Break text into short paragraphs so that the AI crawlers can understand, extract, and parse it. Technical excellence. Prioritize speed, crawlability, mobile friendliness, and structured data so that AI systems can efficiently access your content. Multimedia. Enrich your post with images, videos, and infographics because they are not only going to help you with dwell time and increase your average time spent on page, but it's going to boost engagement and provide multiple ways to understand complex topic. Large language models are multimodal, so they now understand the content within the image itself as well as video and podcast. Authority and trust. I mentioned about citations, data, expert quotes, and from reputable sources will increase the likelihood of your website being cited. And obviously use AI tools. There are tools for research, there are tools for ideation, from drafting. You can combine all of that and use modern tools. For example, Surfer SEO is an amazing tool for natural language NLP based query identification and making sure that you have those queries in your website. So in terms of action plan, what I would say is focus on the basics, right? Make sure your site is crawlable, secure, and fast. Build mentions and citations, right? Make sure that your brand mentions are across the website and not just links. Go multi-platform, such as having a presence on YouTube, a podcast on Apple, Quora, maybe answer frequently asked questions. Engage in a pretty niche topic in Reddit where you are really genuinely helping someone's problem. That's going to help you gain more citations, right? Think about Perplexity. It always makes sure that it reads answers from Perplexity, sorry, from Reddit and Quora and forums to get some context around that topic, right? So be multi-platform. Audit your citation. See what sources LLM cite for your niche and competitors to identify opportunities. The best way to figure out what's going on is type that query in LLM and see what citations are being mentioned. If you're not present, it basically means that you have to be present, and that's where your audience is. Answer questions easily, TLDR, summary, FAQs, these are all important. Structure your LLM, right? Use one idea per paragraph, clear headings and quotes. And then track visibility. There is a new category called as AI mode or something like that in SEMrush. I know that even in Google Search Console, they have introduced new ways to identify that. So even search engines recognize that having a brand query displayed or visible on these AI results, brands would like to know what's going on, right? So there is a way to track, on queries that are ranking in AI mode. So use those tools so that you can see like the trend and how it's performing. And then research, from a research insight, one thing that came out which is pretty interesting is studies show that adding citations, quotes and statistics can increase your chance of being cited in AI answers by 40%. So that's a clear way to make sure that your website gets picked up. So again, focus on that. So that way, tools like, modern tools like AI search engines can cite your website. I mentioned about a few tools, but I will quickly go through them. Use Keyword Planner. It's a basic one to understand volumes. Use Google Trends to figure out any hot topics and change in seasonality of a particular term. SEMrush and Ahrefs are great. I would also add in exploding topics, and there's one more, Google Search Console, obviously, in addition to these, and then Surfer SEO. From a content creation, I would add in Surfer SEO instead of Copy AI. SEMrush AI is pretty good. AI SEO is I think it's a plugin for WordPress, and obviously ChatGPT is great for general review, right? And then from a monitoring and tracking perspective, I did mention about SEMrush and Google Search Console. I think those are enough to begin with. From a case study standpoint, again, user-generated content is very, very important because 24% of AI dialogues mentioning Lululemon, include the brand user sentiment on Reddit. So I would say try to categorize your intent of your brand into informational, commercial, and navigation, and then focus on those keywords so that way you are able to tackle them for large language model, right? So search intent optimization is another term that I would like to mention over here, right? So that you know what's the intent and what the content should be. And because most of these LLMs are really good in understanding the intent, you got to focus on that. So again, use conversational language, target long tail queries, structure your content clearly, include citations, and measure. And finally, I would say if you have any questions about GEO and how things are heading, make sure to drop a comment, like, and subscribe, because I'm going to be posting more videos. I do have a very interesting tool to share with you. It's called as Markups. This is basically a tool that I've built for advertising and basically trying to review all your Google Ads campaigns, your keywords. It's going to provide you which keywords are converting, which ones are not converting. It's pretty interesting. I would say definitely take a look and share your comments and thoughts. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thank you.